Let's talk about the college degree. For generations, right, it was pretty much the undisputed key to a better life. But lately, as the costs have just gone through the roof and the job market has totally shifted, the math has gotten, well, a lot more complicated. So today, we're going to dig in and ask, what is the real return on investment for a college degree now?
It really wasn't that long ago that a bachelor's degree was the gold standard. It was your ticket. But the data is showing us that we are heading, and fast, toward a future where a master's degree might be the new baseline, just to even compete. So, how on earth did the goalpost move so far so fast? To get that, we need to rewind the clock a bit.
All right, let's set our baseline. Think back to the 1980s. The whole promise of college just felt, well, more accessible. But that's right when we started to see the beginning of this steep upward climb in costs that would just explode over the next few decades.
And just look at how fast that trend accelerated. In the 98-99 school year, average tuition and fees were a little over $3,000. Now, fast forward just 20 years, and that number has more than tripled to over $10,000. I mean, that is a staggering increase, but believe it or not, the raw cost is only half the story. See, the real problem here isn't just that college got more expensive. It's that the cost of college completely, and I mean completely, detached from what a normal person was actually earning.
And here it is. This is the disconnect. Since 1998, average hourly wages, they just kind of crawled up by 26%. But in that exact same time period, college costs exploded by 188%. You definitely don't need to be a math major to see that this equation just does not add up anymore.
Let me put it another way. The price of admission to the middle class has been rising almost 8 times faster than the wages that are supposed to pay for it. So the huge question is, why? What's driving this?
Well, it's really a mix of three main things. First, after the Great Recession, states slashed funding for higher education, and it never really came back. That pushed the costs onto students. Second, the cost for the universities themselves went up, to pay good professors and offer modern services. And third, just the general cost of living, from healthcare to buildings, that hits a university's budget just like it hits ours. So, costs are rising. You'd think, or at least you'd hope, that the value of the degree is rising right along with it. But we're actually facing the opposite problem, something called degree inflation. It's kind of like that line from The Incredibles, when everyone's super, no one will be.
Degree inflation, or you might hear it called credential creep, is a pretty simple idea. As more and more people get degrees, the value of any one single degree starts to go down. This pushes employers to demand higher and higher qualifications for jobs that, honestly, haven't really changed that much.
Think about it like this. A generation ago, a high school diploma could land you a really solid career track job. Now, a bachelor's degree is often the bare minimum just to get your foot in the door for those same kinds of jobs. And the trend is clearly pointing towards the master's degree becoming the next big hurdle you have to clear just to get in the game. And if you want a perfect example of this credential creep, get this. One study found that 65% of job postings for executive assistants demand a bachelor's degree. But get this, among the people who are actually doing that job right now, only 19% have one. That is a huge disconnect between what the job posting says and what you actually need to do the work. Okay, so it costs more and it might be worth less. It's all sounding pretty bad, right? Well, not exactly. Despite everything we've talked about, a college degree does still deliver a pretty significant financial payoff. But as you're about to see, that payoff is far from equal for everyone. This is the big flashy number you always hear. On average, getting a bachelor's degree is worth about $2.8 million over a lifetime. I mean, that's a pretty compelling argument for going to college, for sure. And here's some context for that huge number. That $2.8 million advantage basically means you'll earn, on average, 84% more over your career than somebody with just a high school diploma. So yeah, the degree still clearly creates a big separation in earnings. And this is a really crucial point, that $2.8 million average hides some enormous differences. Even with the exact same degree, women earn about 25% less than men. And the gap is even bigger when you look at race. Over a lifetime, Black and Hispanic individuals with advanced degrees can earn nearly $1 million less than their white and Asian peers. So yes, the payoff is real, but it is not handed out equally. So let's bring it all together. We've seen the insane rise in cost, we've seen the inflated requirements to get a job, and we've seen that the payoff isn't the same for everybody. This leads us right to the final critical question, because that golden ticket comes with a seriously hefty price tag. The average graduate in 2019 didn't just walk away with a diploma.
They walked away with almost $30,000 in student loan debt. That's basically become the new entry fee for the modern economy.
This is the obstacle course for today's student. The cost is higher than ever. The requirements to land a decent job are higher than ever. And the debt you have to take on just to start the race is higher than ever.
And so we are left with this one question. The data shows a degree still pays off, for sure. But with these skyrocketing costs and this ghost of degree inflation hanging over everything, is it still the guaranteed golden ticket it used to be? Or has it turned into a potential debt trap for a whole new generation? That's the tough calculation that every single student has to make today.